This is just such a typical day of Rob. He's just so not motivated.
It's no secret that Rob Kardashian has had his fair share of arguments with his famous family members.
I hear Kim, bad-mouthing me and saying all these negative comments.
But out of all of his sisters, he's constantly had the most issues with Kim.
I take that personally.
So what actually caused such a huge rift between Rob and Kim? Let's break down why they never see eye to eye anymore, because the real reasons are honestly insane. We barely ever see Rob anymore, but on the first several seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, he appeared pretty regularly, and a lot of the time, he and the rest of the family were completely at odds. But even though Rob didn't hold back when it came to any of the fights within the family, he really seemed to have it out for Kim. One of the possible reasons why he was usually more angry with her is seriously crazy. As we've seen countless times, Kim has no problem calling Rob out for basically anything she doesn't agree with. She used to say that she was trying to get him to be more responsible, but sometimes she came across as more cruel than anything. When the entire family went on vacation, Rob was minding his own business. But out of nowhere, Kim took the opportunity to start trash-talking him to her then-boyfriend, Chris Humphries.
This is just such a typical day of Rob. He's just so not motivated.
I don't know about you, but I felt like it was kind of weird for her to be judging Rob's productivity while on vacation.
I hear Kim, bad-mouthing me and saying all these negative comments about me. I take that personally.
Rob tried to sort out the issue with Kim, but it quickly spiraled into a full-blown argument. He reminded her that their mom and late father had raised them better than to act like that. But Kim had to have the last word, and she clearly wanted to hurt him.
And I think they'd all be very extremely proud of me. You, on the other hand, just look in the mirror.
Those mean-spirited comments might explain why Rob can't stand Kim, especially since his relationships with Kourtney and Khloe are totally different. Rob and Khloe have always been incredibly close.
They just have this special bond, they always have.
But even when Kourtney thought that Rob needed to be steered in the right direction, the way she handled it was much healthier. Instead of attacking him with the whole family present like Kim, Kourtney usually tried to have a one-on-one conversation with Rob.
You should have talked to me about it because that represents me.
Kourtney's right.
Not surprisingly, Kourtney's private talks with Rob always worked out better than Kim confronting him. But that leads to another reason why there's so much tension specifically between Rob and Kim, and it's truly bizarre. The way Kim has historically treated Rob is pretty terrible. Sometimes she was a little more subtle, like when she decided to invite him over for a fast food feast.
Let me just have a bite of that.
Kim had been calling Rob lazy for years at that point, but she also knew that he was seriously struggling with his health and had been trying to eat more nutritiously. She knew fast food was his weakness, so it really seemed like she was trying to sabotage his diet.
He is stuffing his face. I honestly feel like I could throw up.
Why would she invite him over to eat a bunch of fast food with her just to turn around and judge him for it? Her tendency to belittle him could definitely be why he doesn't exactly want to be around her, but some people think the real reason might be much deeper and way more serious. It's possible that Rob dislikes Kim so much because he's actually extremely jealous of her. After all, he used to focus so much on the amount of money his sisters had and how much their lifestyles had changed because of their fame and success.
You guys are always out of town and in hotels and all this stuff.
Kourtney would usually hear Rob out and remind him that everyone has to start somewhere. Khloe obviously had his back most of the time, but Kim was always so quick to tell Rob how much of a loser he was, even when he really needed some compassion.
He might need to take responsibility, obviously.
When Rob broke down in a family therapy session because of how unsupported he felt by his family, Kim had to make a negative remark. She and Chris were also the only ones who didn't show emotion when he opened up or try to comfort him in any way.
Robert, don't leave. Please don't leave, Rob. Please don't leave. Stay in touch.
But not everyone is convinced that Kim was the bad guy for calling out Rob's lack of accountability. Some people think that she was the only one in the family who wasn't afraid to stop enabling him, and that's why he has such a big problem with her. When Rob decided to take Kim's Bentley for a joyride after she told him not to, he tried to play it off like she had no reason to be that upset.
I didn't think it was that serious. I've taken Mom's car, I've taken all you guys. It's not that big of a deal.
Kim didn't like that Rob felt like he was entitled to her belongings, especially after she said he couldn't use her car. But even though she could have confronted him about it in a less pointed way, he still didn't need to turn it around on her.
You sound like the biggest
I took your
spoiled
car.
brat.
You're being
It's
selfish.
not even that. No, it's not even that.
Maybe Rob really does hate Kim because she's the one who actually puts her foot down with him. But other people think that there's another reason, and it's seriously heartbreaking. Rob might simply feel defeated after hearing Kim insult him so much over the years. She has a pattern of slamming him for his work ethic, which has to be hard for him. But even if he had been a little more motivated, that might not have changed anything anyway. Kim once said that her mom didn't know how to raise boys, and that's why Rob was treated differently than the girls were. But truthfully, Kim and Chris usually handled his business ideas in a ridiculous way. Rob repeatedly brought up wanting to start a men's clothing line or even a men's dash store. Kim would usually badmouth all of his ideas. And sadly, Chris always prioritized Kim and her work, even though she was technically the manager for all of her children.
Now you don't have the time to deal with retail. I just feel like I'm gonna get cut out and not do anything.
On more than one occasion, Rob mentioned feeling like his mom cared about his sisters more than she cared about him. Her obvious preferential treatment toward Kim definitely didn't help Rob's situation.
You do not even pay attention to half the things I tell you, so you wouldn't know what's true or not.
If Chris really wanted to prove him wrong, she easily could have. But even when Rob was in the right, she basically considered it off limits for him to say anything against Kim.
It's really rude to say that about Chloe. She's marrying this guy.
He had only been trying to stick up for Chloe, but Chris had Kim's back instead, and they both absolutely tore into Rob.
Yeah,
actually, you did. You were being
Scream about it. Scream about it.
so immature that you.
I think every family with multiple kids deals with some form of sibling rivalry, but clearly Chris's favoritism of Kim only made things worse. Not to mention how she handled Rob's big modeling break was completely insane. In season 2 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Rob was offered a modeling job in Japan, but when he told the family about it, Chris totally lost her mind. She said that Rob was stupid for taking a semester off of school, and even told him that his dad would be so disappointed in him. Rob ended up not going through with the modeling offer, but now his sisters have made so much money off of their modeling jobs and beauty brands. It's gotta sting knowing that he could have had a successful career like them, but Chris never supported his dream. There could have been several different reasons at the root of Rob and Kim's constant back and forth bickering. She might just be really mean to him, or she might be the one who refuses to enable him. Rob might be justified in being upset with Kim's attitude, but his anger could also stem from jealousy. His feelings of envy were understandable at the time, especially when Chris seemed to make it worse by always siding with Kim. But there were other times when he definitely acted out of line. It's crazy that Rob and Kim have fought so much, even compared to all of the other Kardashian-Jenner siblings. But now that we've gotten into the possible reasons why he can't seem to stand her, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think is the real reason why Rob hates Kim? Do you think Kim has been too harsh on him? Or have her comments over the years been justified? Let me know in the comments below.